Alrighty, let's see what happens here. People I do not like for the draft league. Doesn't mean I don't like them personally, it just means probably don't want to draft them unless you get a good deal on them. I think that's the biggest thing there. If you can get them for, a lower round, go for it. Pull the gun. But we will see how it goes here. 5 players I do not like for Godfried's draft league. Information just real quickly. I did ask around for this one in comparison to the first one where I mainly made the own choices here. I wasn't really sure what the consensus was for these kinds of choices, but we will see who I picked. Firstly, the most responses, and I do believe them to be correct, is YOLO Swag. Dude can play the game. Everyone knows this. Good at melee, good at staying alive, good at doing everything in the game, but it's the mental game with him. It's his availability. Does he show up? Does he go to scrims? Does he go to matches? Does he, go to a party and then message you 15 minutes before the match that he won't be there? It's that kind of thing that makes him a little flaky. Makes him, if you can get him second round, maybe, maybe. If you can get him first round, I would probably try and go for, someone else that you may be able to rely on a little better. A Vertilder, maybe. Um, you know, Russian Fury, Waste. I know those two probably aren't playing, but still, those kinds of players that you want. You want someone stalwart with the first round pick, someone that you know is going to go, 1.2 KD, someone up there, someone great. And he just hasn't shown himself to be reliable enough for that. I mean, he gets first picks, he gets all that stuff, he does the nitty gritty, but it's only when he shows up. Um, I mean, everyone knows he's loud. Everyone knows he's a little cringy, he's a little ragey, that kind of stuff. I mean, you have a Seawater that's like that as well, but the guy shows up to the games. He can lock in and get it done. Um, Seawater has some other things with him, but he shows up. That's numero uno, showing up. Showing up. That's the biggest thing, YOLO. That's all anyone can ever ask. Just show up to the fucking game. But yeah. Next one was VHA. I heard it from a couple people. Bit toxic, especially for skill level. I mean, if you have someone who's good at the game's a little toxic, kind of forget that. He's a decent player, but when you're not as good as, your shit talking everything, that makes it out to be, especially when it's towards your teammates and stuff like that, not great. So I don't know if this is just, isolated incidents and stuff like that, or it's a more, endemic thing to them, but um, picking for a seventh rounder, not a bad pick. Not a bad pick, I feel like, but you got to get him a little lower than you would think for his skill level. I know he was playing League Two in the last one or the one before that, and he was doing fine. Nothing too crazy, but he did fine. So, seventh round, League Two, that kind of stuff. Maybe he's worth it. Um, this draft tournament, not the most stacked in terms of player ability, but we will have to see. Um, if he shows up and plays well, maybe this is all for naught. But I'm not feeling the VHA. Thirdly is Dio. Everyone knows he's loud. He's mind-bogglingly loud. He speaks a lot. He says a lot of things, a lot of stupid things. Sometimes he gets some smart things in there too. But um, a couple people rather emphatically stated to me they will not play with Dio. I'm not going to name names. They're my sources, but it was very emphatic that they will not play with Dio. So that goes to show some of the people that are in here that that we are willing to play with. Um, it really makes you think. So he's a good player, but my God, is he toxic? I'm feeling a sixth rounder. Um, fifth rounder would be fine, I think, but sixth rounder would be a real value pick. I feel like for him. Um, he's definitely gonna hang in League One. He's shown that in the past. We'll see where he can do some stuff. So definitely a value pick. We'll see how that goes. Risk heard it from a couple people. Um, heard the toxicity, heard the condescendingness. Unknown if it's still there. I haven't talked to him in quite a while. Um, I just heard it from around the bush, around the water cooler. I've heard it. He's always been a decent person to me, but you never know. I'm me, so maybe people are just nice to me. Maybe people are just assholes to me. It takes a lot more to form an opinion, and I just don't have the experience to form one. But I heard it from enough people to believe it. Obviously, has the ability there, first, second, probably a late first, if I was to guess. He's kind of in that YOLO category, except he actually shows up. So, Risk would be a good pickup in the second round if he drops that far. A decent pick in the first round, so we'll have to see. He can play the game. Let's see if there's an attitude or anything like that, but we will have to see. Um, we will have to see. James, I've heard some things about James. Everyone knows about the Hall of Fame crash out that occurred against Russian Fury and that whole gaggle of people. I heard about some heavy friction within the team from some other sources. So obviously that's a twofer. I mean, do you want that? Obviously, he's always been nice to me, so maybe that's just a personality clash between multiple people. Is he good? That's a good question. I think he's a decent player. Is he worth the personality clash? You got to make your own decision on that one. Um, Obviously, I'm not a captain of a team, so I don't have to make that choice. But for those out there, let's see what happens. Can he be made to work? Of course. Worked in the past. It'll probably work in the future. Was it a one-time thing? Who knows? But from the sources I talked to, they were a little skeptical. So that's why I put him as the fifth pick here. It's just one of those like source or not source risk James. Um, I heard from the sources that they weren't too fond. Never had problems with them personally, so we'll see how it goes. I am very cautious about it. I would call him, third, fourth, fifth round. Fifth round would be a bit of a stretch, but if you get him in the fifth round, I think it's a good pick. Third round, maybe a bit of a stretch. Definitely a bit of a stretch. Just if you're looking for New York City weather, on Friday it's going to be 51 high, 41 low. It's going to be sunny all day. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. So get on out there if you're available. On Saturday, partially cloudy, 60 highs though. 60 highs, beautiful weather, getting down to 34 at night, however. So maybe bring a coat out if you are going out at night. And Sunday, highs of 49 and completely cloudy. So definitely sweater weather if you're feeling like going out on Sunday. And that wraps up your weather. But just some people to watch out for. I have, six names here who've I didn't include in the main list. Not in the main list. Dulce Bowler, is he washed? I saw in the last league, didn't perform to his fullest there. I mean, the last two leagues he's been picked rather high in the third, fourth kind of range. Um, like I've said, this tournament a little weaker, so maybe he will be picked in the third, fourth range. Will it be a value pick? Possibly not. You'll have to see. Um, I think there's a couple of people like that where just because it's a little lesser of a tournament in terms of skill wise, maybe they get the value picks up there. But I'm not feeling Dulce Bowler in the third round. Fourth round, good possibility. I mean, I think he'd be a good pick in the fourth round. Fifth round, pure value then. Gray, I've heard, bit of annoying player to have on your team. Doesn't really say when he's going to go AFK. Doesn't really listen to people on the team. Tries to be a bit of a loner on the field. Not great. Um, so hopefully you can get those issues sorted. And if he does, I think he could be a valuable player. So I'm feeling sixth to seventh round. Seventh round would be a value pick, in my opinion. Baby J again with Dulce Bowler, maybe a little washed. A little washed, I feel like. Not feeling I'm feeling a third round pick for him, maybe a fourth round pick. I think fourth round would be value. If he falls to five, pick him up. Um, he can get a little hair up his ass, but I think he's a good player. Glenvin W. Is he washed? He's always been washed, fellas. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Glenvin W. is washed. Fifth or sixth round. Sixth round would be the value pick. Godfried, same thing with Big Soldier, Baby J, Glenvin W. Is he washed? Man can duel. Can he group fight? Occasionally. So, third or fourth round, third round, once again, maybe fourth round value pick. So, and Levy's, Osama bin Levy's. Um, I don't think he's even in the Americas anymore. That's how much he bombed the last league, but we'll never forget him. So that's the important thing. And it's the big thing there. So I appreciate it. Thank you for listening. And not the biggest on all these guys. I would say the biggest if and or but is going to be YOLO if he shows up. Va if he can pull it together. Dio if he can keep his tone down, his volume down. Maybe he'll get back into the good graces of some people. Same with Risk and James. Um, I think there's value to be had with these players, but they shouldn't be overpicked. I think that's the biggest thing. So there you go.